Yeah, the Christian music guys. Make some noise for the Christian music guys.
Well, today on the Christian Music Guys, we're chatting with one of the brightest new voices in Christian music. You might already know him from social media, from his viral videos, but now he's stepping into the spotlight with his debut single, a fresh reimagining of the Darling Check classic, I Give You My Heart. The song is distributed by Integrity Music and releases on January 2nd, bringing a bold new sound and spirit to a worship anthem we all know and love. We're going to dive into Johnny's journey, the story behind the song, and what's next for him. Let's welcome to the show, Johnny B.
What's up, guys? Living the dream over here. I got my Diet Coke, and I'm ready to go.
Are you sure? Check your heart. No.
Now, listen, I used to never drink soda, and I had a roommate in my early 20s. He was a songwriter, and he traveled and did songwriting camps. And so I would be at the house by myself a lot of the time, and he would stock the fridge with Diet Coke, and then he would go on the road. And I was a broke musician, and so I'm like, whatever's in the fridge, I'm just gonna go for. And I developed a Diet Coke addiction. And so now, anytime we take prayer requests, I raise my hand and I say, I've got an addiction to Diet Coke.
Mine's Coke Zero, so I just Diet Coke taste is gross.
So good. It is an acquired taste, and it's one of those things where now I crave it, and it's a situation for sure.
Yeah, I don't know how y'all do the diet stuff. You got to get the real sugar.
I mean, I'm just trying to stay young. Y'all look young. I'm trying to look as young as y'all.
Yeah.
Now, are you ready for people to start using you in Sora?
He welcomes it.
It was so I did turn my Cameo or whatever it's called public, so I'm waiting for the request to come in. But it's so crazy. When that first dropped, it was around Halloween, and I think we grew up maybe kind of in the same kind of culture where in the time where they were doing a lot of like judgment journeys and tribulation trails and Heaven's Gates, Hell's Flames, Hell House. And so I was AIing myself in all these situations, and I thought they were hilarious. And I showed all my Church of God friends, and they were like, "I don't get it." And I'm like, "You just had to be there.
You had to be there.
You just had to be there." Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, that it's funny because we all three of us brothers are on it, and you will say like, make this video with us. Even with you, Johnny, if we ever do a video with you, it's like, make this video, whatever. And then all of a sudden it'll put my facial hair on your face, and then it will flip flop your glasses onto my face. And then I look like my brother Jesse, and then he looks like me, and then it flips me. It's all over the place. Like, apparently we all are actual brothers, because it just does not like.
Have you noticed that one in like every 5 videos, it makes you chunky? Like it just,
yes,
out of nowhere, it's just like,
yeah.
The last one, Chris had a belly. I was like, dang, son.
Yeah, I looked like Santa Claus on the roof. I'm like, what in the world's happened?
Sora keeping us humble. Keeping us humble.
I'm like, we're
Sora's made by dads, I guess, and they all have dad pods, so.
Yeah. Sora needs to get on some G1. Is it G13P? What is it? What's the
Ozempic?
Yeah,
Ozempic.
Yeah. All right, Johnny. Well, for those of our listeners that don't know you, tell us about yourself and what led you to step into this new season with hopping back onto the music train.
Yeah. Well, I turned 20 again this year for the second time. So if you can do math, 20 times 2 is a larger number than 20.
Yeah.
But I've been in ministry, or in the music side of ministry, since I was 2021 was the first tour I went on, and spent most of my 20s on the road, traveling, doing youth conferences, conventions, camps, you name it, we were there. And then towards the back end of my 20s, kind of slowed down a little bit, got married, had some kids. And over the last, 10 years or so, my wife and I have been serving in the local church as worship leaders and worship pastors. And so along the way, I was kind of taken back to when those early days in my 20s, when we were writing original music, and I kept wanting to write worship songs that you could hear on the radio. But back then, this is like, 2010, there just wasn't really a space for that. You had worship, and then you had what you heard on the radio. There was never really any crossover. But now that's the predominantly what you hear and what you
Oh
see.
yeah.
And so, as we were praying about, is it the time to step back into trying to release music and write music, it just felt like the stars kind of aligned, because it's always been a passion of ours to write music that you can sing at your church on Sunday. And having been a worship pastor for the last decade, um, understanding what that means and what that looks like, but also a song that you turn on the radio going down the road, and it hits just as well. And so it just seems like it's the right time, the right season for us to say yes to the Lord. Kind of felt that pull on our heart, all the while throwing some stuff on social media just to see what's out there. And we've over the last year or so have just seen the Lord really bless some of the things that we put out there. And so it just felt like the right time to lean back in. I've still got all my hair under here. I'm ready to. I mean, there's no better time than the present. Um, I feel like I've got a baby face. I'm Bodhi's Timu dad. It's just the right time.
Yeah.
Everything is, but no, it really did. It just felt like, hey, this is the moment. And I kind of felt like too, in your 20s. Nothing against young artists. I mean, I was one, but the benefit of a few years, I think, stepping back into it now, I think I know who I am a little bit better, and more than knowing who I am, I know who I'm not, and that's just as
Yeah.
important. Just to be comfortable in your own skin. Comparison really is the thief of joy, and I think now stepping back in, I'm really comfortable in my skin. I know who the Lord's called me to be. I know the voice He's given me to have, and so it feels a lot. I feel healthier now. I think if I had really put my foot pedal to the metal in my 20s, I probably would have burnt out. But the Lord knew what He was doing, and now I feel like I'm healthy in my heart and in my
Yeah.
soul, and I'm ready to give it another go.
Well, speaking of healthy in your heart, giving your heart, what made you choose
Yeah.
that classic?
I
See what I did there? Look at that.
Yeah, I love a good segue.
Dad jokes.
It's funny. I one of the things that has really been blowing up for us on social media is our mashups. We'll take like an old song and a new song, kind of mash them up, and we've had millions of views on our reels of those types of songs, those different genres and generations kind of mashed
Yeah.
together. But I Give You My Heart was one of the first songs I ever learned on guitar at 15 years old. And where that connects to the mashups and the things that we do now, I only knew 4 songs, Chris, and I had to memorize them because we didn't have uh, words on the screen. It was a podunk Southern church. We met in the basement, like it was the whole thing, right? And so we
Oh,
didn't
yeah.
have any of that stuff. If you didn't know, if you had to memorize what you were going to sing and then get up there and do it. And I Give You My Heart was one of those 4 or 5 songs that I learned, and I would mash them all together, and I would just kind of flow from one to the other out of necessity, because that's all I knew. And now that's one of those things where we've seen the Lord really kind of full circle, kind of bless those moments, and it's been really cool. But that was one of those songs, I Give You My Heart, at 15 years old, that I learned when I first picked up a guitar. And it's so cool because at 15 it meant something, and now at 40 it means something totally different.
Yeah.
But
Oh, yeah.
whatever season I think you're in your life or in your walk with the Lord, I think it's just true. It's just true. And for whatever reason, the 90s we've lived long enough to where the 90s have come all the way back around, and now we're wearing Birkenstocks and we're bleaching our hair, and the whole thing. Like, I'm like, okay, I can drop this 90s song, and it's gonna be cool. It's gonna fit the aesthetic of culture, and again, it's so meaningful to me. Um, we sing it at our church, and just to see the generations kind of come alive in the room. Again, one of the benefits of having that perspective of a local worship leader is you kind of know what works in a room and
Yeah.
what doesn't. And I've written songs before that I thought were just the greatest thing ever, and then you go to play them in front of people, and you're like, oh wait, this doesn't
Flop.
fly. Yeah, maybe this song was just for me.
Yeah.
It wasn't
Oh,
for
yeah.
anyone else. But knowing it's proven, it's got a proven track record. And for us, this to be the first single that we're putting out is just very meaningful for us.
Yeah. I love watching all the mashups, and I'm like, okay, what did Johnny pull off this time?
Yeah,
I'm like, I don't even know. Like, but I totally get the whole. I only knew 4 songs. I had no stage display no confidence monitor to back up on at the time. Like back in the day, like you had to know those 4 chords of that song and what sequence to play them in.
Yeah, So Will I would have never made it in the 90s because we couldn't have changed the laminates fast enough, to like to catch up. But yeah, you sang what you know with confidence, without a confidence monitor, and that's how it was.
Oh yeah.
Okay, so I was gonna say something 90s, but it's totally just messed that up.
So
but anyway,
that's his Johnny, you'll see this soon. Hopefully not as soon as Jacob, but once you hit that 4-0, the double 20s, that starts happening.
The double 20s,
you just forget what's happening.
You do. You go to unload the dishwasher and you pull a hammy, and you're on the injured list for the next 2 weeks.
Oh.
Yeah,
I was unloading the spoons and I pulled my back.
yeah.
No, I'm not
crazy.
even joking. I'm not even 40 yet. And the other day, I reached over to grab my toddler. He had a Sharpie. Speaking of Sharpies, we were talking about those before we started recording. But he had a Sharpie, and we were at the kids' check-in desk at my church, and he was literally with the Sharpie open, drawing on the desk. And I was like, dude, no. So like he jumped down off the chair, and I bent over to grab him real quick to pull him up, and all of a sudden my shoulder blade was like, nope, you're gone. And I was like, I had to drop him and just be like, go.
I was like,
no.
Stop, drop, and roll. I'm gonna drop you. I just need you to roll out of this. That's so funny.
No, the thing I was thinking about in the 90s was the gigapets, and if you didn't feed them, they'd poop. Or if you didn't clean them, they'd poop. And then if you didn't feed them for a while, they'd die or something.
It's like a Tamagotchi.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They prepared us for fatherhood.
Thank you.
So keep our children alive. They go, wait, I need to check
Feed
on these
them,
kids.
Change them, clean them, sleep. That's it. That's all.
Yeah, every
now and then play.
Yeah, our kids are at that age where they can do some things for themselves, like their nighttime routine, like take a bath, brush your teeth, go to bed. And every once in a while, we're like, how many days has it been since you've taken a bath? Like, because, we tell them to go, but we're like, wait a second, we didn't follow up. I mean, how much independence are we going to extend here? Like, and so they're always like, oh, I took one yesterday. And I'm like, bro, you smell like you took one last week.
Yeah, really.
We need to go in there.
Yeah.
So for those listening or watching that do not know this, I am Johnny's president.
Make Johnny great again.
Yeah, I was about to say make Johnny be great again.
Get it? Johnny be great again.
Yeah. Ooh.
Yeah, ooh.
Let me write that down.
No. Okay. So me and Johnny are working together, and social medias. I want to ask you about that. What gets you, thinking these cool thoughts to do these funny videos? And I'm glad I have not called you up and say, hey man, you probably need to take that one down. there's been a few where you call me or text me, you're like, bro, I'm thinking about this, and then later on you're like, I ain't gonna post it.
Yeah. Well, I'm waiting for that call. It's coming. But yeah, no, you know what I love about, I think at first, if I'm honest, I've always kind of been a little bit of a class clown, but I use humor in situations that maybe I'm nervous or I'm awkward. Like the humor has just always been kind of my escape, and how to break the ice or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
And so I noticed that even in worship, like opening up a service with something that's lighthearted, you'll kind of relate to this, Jacob, you as well, Chris, when you're preaching or speaking, something about telling a joke up front. It just, people let their guard down. There's something about humor that just breaks down the walls and allows us to get past that awkward tension or whatever that might be in the way of us and connecting with the people that we're trying to communicate with. Humor does that, in the Bible tells us it's like medicine. Laughter does good like medicine, and the joy of the Lord is our strength. And so I think there's something that we forfeit when we lose our joy and we lose our ability to not, to laugh at ourselves, and to point out those things in our maybe in Christian culture that really are funny, and are true. One of the first reels that we did when I realized, hey, maybe my wife still doesn't think I'm funny. It's fine. We're getting there. We're getting there.
We're working on her.
She keeps me humble.
She told me that. She goes, he thinks he's funny, but he's really not.
He's not. Listen, if she laughs at a joke, I'm posting it immediately.
Yeah.
Because it's going viral.
Doesn't matter what anybody says.
It doesn't matter. But we were, and I've told this story often, but we were at Target, and if you've ever been to Target on a Saturday, just cancel the rest of your plans because that's where you're going to be.
Mm-hmm.
And so we're at Target, and I'm just drifting off, and I see these mannequins, with like on display. It was like back to school or something, and there was like, we were in the kids section shopping for our kids, and there was this like mannequin of a boy wearing a solid navy blue polo shirt, and in my mind immediately I thought, that kid goes to Christian private school. When he comes home, he puts in his headphones and all he does is listen to Drake. You know what I mean? Like his parents think he's listening to Elevation, but he's really listening to Drake. And like I'm just thinking, and so I just take out my phone and I'm like taking little 2-3 second videos of these mannequins, and then I get home and I clip them up and I posted it, and like 2.5 million views later, I was like, we're onto something. And what I think it is because it is okay to laugh at ourselves and to find those things that are funny and that are relatable. And I love that scripture that says that we overcome by the story of Jesus or the blood of the Lamb and our testimony, which is our story. So our story and the story of Jesus is really how we overcome. And when you say even funny things and humor, people are able to find their story in that, and like, oh, I know this guy who drops his kid off at private school every day, and he thinks that his kid can't do any wrong, and that all he's listening to is Tiffany Hudson on repeat. But we all know he's listening to Kanye, and not the gospel album, the other album, And so
I growing up, we used to have a lot of CDs in our room at the house, and I don't know if y'all remember. I know Chris does the gospel group Take Six.
Yeah.
Take Six, Johnny.
Yeah, I was supposed to be the seventh, but didn't work out.
So in that disc, I would have a Boys to Men CD flipped over, and then the Take Six CD on top of that. So if you opened it, there was Take Six, but underneath that it was Boys to Men flipped over.
That's scandalous, bro.
That is. Man.
Confessions.
Our mom and dad never found out until now.
Blink twice if you ever broke a Britney Spears CD at a youth retreat.
Or burned Pokemon cards at the altar.
Yeah, bro. It's so true, man. Yeah, and I think it's wild what we believe. It's wild.
Oh yeah,
it's so wild, bro. Yeah,
awesome.
I remember throwing. We were coming back from Winterfest, which I'm sure you know.
Oh yeah.
If you're listening, Winterfest was like this big conference that our network, our denomination, or network of churches would do every year, and it was in Pigeon Forge or Gatlinburg. It got big at one point. They moved it to Knoxville. We were driving back on the bus from Winterfest, and I had this, I was on this high, I'd just been at this conference with 20,000 teenagers, and, God did this really cool thing in my life. And I was like, I'm throwing out my CDs. And so I just started throwing my CDs out the window, and my youth pastor was like, I don't think you should do that. I think that might be breaking the law. And he was like, so you're sinning right now. And I was like, oh no, I can't win.
Our old pastor used to say, like, if you get rid of your marijuana, whatever you do not go outside and burn it. He would say, Flush it down the toilet. Don't go outside and burn it. Like, oh Lord.
That's crazy. That's wild.
You know what? This is totally off subject, but I'm just gonna say it. I legit. So if you all are not watching the video, Johnny has his disco ball going, but also there's this neon sign that's behind him, and when he sits in the middle, I swear it looks like Bullwinkle. He's got the Bullwinkle like horns or antlers, I guess they're called antlers.
Yes.
But I don't know why that popped in my head, but I was like, oh my gosh, it's like Bullwinkle.
That's amazing. Oh my gosh. I love that show. Rocky and Bullwinkle.
Yeah.
Speaking of
Deep
things
cuts.
to burn.
Yeah.
Yeah, oh my gosh. I may have to film that reel, Jacob, of Boys to Men. Take 6 and
Yeah.
Boys to Men. That's correct.
And the fact that Jacob still thinks that like Boys to Men was very risky. Like,
Yeah.
he's like it was Boys to Men.
Well, guys, let's talk about this. I mean, they did
What's
have a
your-
song called I'll make something.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
Song of Solomon, my guy. Come on.
yeah, come on now.
That's what
I
I was
love
trying
it.
to tell my teacher when I was singing in the computer class.
Oh, y'all remember testimony services? You know, when they would
Oh,
pass the
yeah.
mic. Anybody got a testimony? I can imagine it comes Jacob's way. He grabs the microphone. He stands up. He says, I got a testimony. God delivered me from boys to men. I have been redeemed.
No, check this out. So at Disney, we used to have Disney passes. Forgive me, Father. Epcot has this thing where they bring out bands and stuff every year, and every year Boys to Men's there. Well, a few years ago, I went to go see Boys to Men, my childhood like band.
Was it? Oh my gosh.
Dude,
I'm
No, I
already-
was there I was there rocking it, bro. I was like,
Oh,
down
my
on
Lord.
bended knee. I was like, Motown Philly back again.
I'm screaming.
Oh,
Okay.
my.
All right. Well, the next 90s cover we do
Yeah.
will be a Boys to Men
Boys to
song.
Men.
Boys to Men, ABCD.
Oh my goodness.
That's so good.
All right. Well, I'm gonna bring it back to a serious note here.
Yes, serious.
I'm gonna try. I'm gonna attempt to. So Johnny, you've been a worship leader for how many years?
Man, I mean, if you count the
You don't
years
want
on
to
the,
put a number on it?
I mean, I could. I'll just outdate myself.
20 times two.
Yeah. I mean, 19 years, I think,
Okay.
if you count from the day I, left on the road, and all we did was, we were a worship band and so even before the local church, even on the road, it's
Oh,
always been worship. So yeah, right at 19 years.
Okay. So, what do you think are some of the biggest challenges that worship leaders face? Whether that's with just in general, it could be in general.
Yeah. I think, I heard someone say one time they were frustrated as their worship leader, and they were frustrated because their church wasn't responding in worship. They weren't singing along, they weren't raising their hands, they weren't engaging, and they were frustrated. And I've heard that 100 times, and I thought to myself, well, are you teaching them how to worship?
Mhm.
Are you leaning in and giving them language? I think what I've learned, and I've had the same frustration, what I've learned over 19 years is that our greatest responsibility isn't to lead songs, it's to lead the room. I think we miss moments and we get frustrated, not because people don't want to worship, but because we've not extended a hand and reached out and led them and taught them and giving them language to worship. I had a mentor one time tell me, he said, worship is a language and we're teaching people how to speak. And I thought back to that. My wife's Hispanic, and I thought back to that first Christmas around the table when they're all speaking Spanish and I have no idea what they're saying. They're laughing, having a good time. And finally my wife leans over and she says, oh, this is what we're talking about. And so what happened there was, for a moment I was at the table, but I wasn't a part of the conversation. but the minute she communicated with me and translated and let me in on it, now I'm a part of what's happening. And I think that's where we've missed it for a long time, and we just didn't know better. I think we're doing our best, and we're trying to sing songs that people know, and we're checking all the boxes and trying to be multicultural, multi-generational, all the things. But at the end of the day, if we're not teaching people the language of worship, if we're not slowing down long enough to let them in on what's happening, then we've missed an opportunity, and we'll continue to be frustrated. So I think as I look over the landscape of worship, and where I really feel most passionate about, I think, is giving people their language back. Because I truly believe most people want to engage in worship. They want to lift their hand, but they were like, what's even, why do I even do that? Well, there's a scripture, there's this, and there's, David said, my arms wave like banners before you, right? There's all these things that we can teach them. When one of the things I love, especially with young people and young audiences at like a youth conference, is I love the visual of when we lift our hands, we're literally letting go. You can't be in control when you lift your hands. So those heavy things that we walk in with, or the things that we're holding on to, when we lift our hands in worship, it's a physical action. We're letting go and giving God permission. And so I think even little language like that, it's like, oh wait, there's a point to this. Like, okay, now
Yeah.
now I want to be a part of that. And so I think as I look over worship and what I'm challenged to do, and I don't always get it right, Chris. I really have to slow down long enough to sit with my set list or the songs that we're singing and say, okay, Lord, where's the moment here where I can make sure I'm not just leading songs, but I'm leading people to connect with Jesus. And then when you do, all of a sudden you look up and we're worshiping together. I love those moments. My favorite moments are when it's going so well and God's moving in such a way that I'm like, wait, am I leading them, or are we just all worshiping together? Because I've
Yeah.
stopped leading at this point, and now we're all going straight up. So I
Yeah.
think if we could figure out, and it looks different for everybody, um, in every leader in every church, but if we can make sure that when we're putting together a service or a set list, that we're leaving room to lead people. We don't have to preach. I'm not saying, there's all this, worship leader
Yeah.
talks for 3 minutes and says nothing.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. Be intentional with it and say, well, here's my goal here. My goal is to help you connect with what we're about to do. So yeah, that's, I think, our greatest challenge, and what I've seen, and what I every week when we're preparing, I'm looking at making sure that I'm checking that box.
Yeah, that's good. I feel like any worship leader who is struggling with that should lead a youth service one time.
100%.
Because
Yeah.
that is I mean, I think that's like been a blessing with me and leading worship and stuff. Is I started with youth group and then with a youth church, and so I was literally, it was just high schoolers that a lot of them did no church, never been to church, maybe they were creasters,
Yeah.
coming with their family, so they don't know anything. So like, you have to be like, hey, this is what it is. And there was, you go to those some of those youth conferences, middle schoolers are the worst, man.
Listen, they will make you fight for every moment of their attention. No, you're absolutely right, man. It is true. I tell people and young worship leaders, if you wanna get your reps in, go lead in students, in
Oh
youth
yeah.
group, because it will humble you, it will break you, and ultimately it will teach you how to connect with people. And I think I have to remind myself of this, because worship is, it is holy and it's sovereign, but it's also fun,
Oh
And
yeah.
so I think one of the ways, I forget where we were. We were at a summer camp a few years ago, and the kids just were not connecting. It was one of those youth groups where I think they were Baptist and we were Baptist, so we scared them a little
Yeah.
bit at first,
Yeah.
and they weren't used to worship. Their normal Wednesday night was just straight to Bible study. So worship was completely foreign to them, and like they weren't even used to standing there listening to a band. And so one of the singers on our team was like, "What if we were doing Praise by Elevation, and they were like, what if we did the cha-cha slide during the break, during the instrumental?" And I
Yeah.
was like, "Let's do it." And we did it, and it, like, the whole room came together. They lit up, they felt seen, and from there we had their attention. And slowly but surely, by the end of that weekend or whatever, they're crying, they're connecting with God, and the whole thing. But it all started because we were like, how do we get creative?
Oh yeah.
How do we connect and communicate? We all have that reel together, where I told Gracie Binion about the Cotton Eye Joe being the
Mhm.
same BPM as Goodbye Yesterday. And I only know that because I tried it at a youth conference,
Yeah.
and it hit. It was
Yeah.
great. It was the greatest thing ever. So yeah, it'll humble you. And if you let it, it'll teach you.
Oh yeah. I
remember
remember
years.
going way back. Sorry, Jacob. Going
Oh, go
way
ahead.
back. We started when we first started this youth church. Um, I mean, we were flooded with a bunch of kids, and then we like just to get any out of them, we taught them Father Abraham.
Let's go.
I was like, yeah, let's get some participation here.
Well, I mean, I think the reason I think God works so well is because it prompts us, picks me up, turns me around,
Yeah.
Gratitude. So I throw up my hands. We need to be told what to do. We just need songs
Yeah.
that tell us, oh, we need motions.
Oh yeah.
Let's bring back, what I'm saying is, let's bring back hand motions.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Years ago, at our first position at a church, in Kentucky, we had a worship night, and Chris came with his worship team, and it was like an intense moment of worship. I mean, like, you could probably cast out any kind of devil. I mean, it was like this intense moment, awestruck moment.
Could you cast out the devil, the Boys to Men? Could you cast
No, never. But you could hear like angelic angels and then all of a sudden it's like super quiet, and all of a sudden Chris is up there leading worship, and all of a sudden, Johnny, it's electric, boogie woogie woogie, goes off on his keyboard or on his
So this was before
laptop.
This was before people were really using tracks. Like, it was definitely not like the only tracks people were using were like
It was
a
2012
cassette track. Like, you were putting a cassette track in there and you're singing to a whole accompaniment. That's all, whatever.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
karaoke, basically. That was
Performance
the only tracks.
tracks. Yeah.
Yeah. And I had made all these ambient pad loops that were like 20 minutes long. I had one in each key, made them all. And I did not have I was, not in the realm really of all the equipment and stuff. I was using iTunes to play those MP3s.
Yeah.
And I forgot to hit the loop button. So it just played whatever was next in my queue.
Good thing it wasn't
Luckily,
something
thank
else.
God it's electric, because
And it
could have been
super spiritual. He's like, yeah, we're gonna get electric in here with God and His power. And I was like, oh Lord.
There's a recording somewhere of it. If we ever
That's
find
great.
it, we'll have to like clip it in or something, because
Yeah.
it's so cringy. It gets I can't even.
I love it, dude. That's amazing. At least it wasn't Boys to Men.
Yeah,
that would have
that's
been
true. That would have been detrimental to my whole career. Like, that would have.
Yeah. That's so funny. I still have those pads on my phone in my iTunes, where before multi-tracks had the pad player and the whole thing. We would just, like you said, put it on loop if we're in the key of G, we would loop that drone pad underneath and fill it out. The struggle was real.
Oh, yeah.
So we're gonna go through these real quick. Our
It's electric.
viewers and listeners love this segment.
It was great.
It's called Favorite Things. And so, Johnny, we're gonna give you a word, and you tell us your favorite thing in that category. Your favorite food?
Sushi.
Boom.
Sushi.
Easy.
Love it.
Favorite movie?
Home Alone.
'Tis the season.
Yeah.
Favorite show to watch?
Oh man, it changes. I think I could put on Friends anytime and laugh
Yes.
my face off. But I just finished this show on Netflix called Man on the Inside by the guys who created The Office, and they created this show called The Good Place. If you've never seen The Good Place,
Hmm.
it is incredible. Start with The Good Place, but it's called Man on the Inside, and it was so much fun. But currently, right now, favorite show, hands down, Stranger Things.
Yeah.
And then your Christian answer, The Chosen. That's your-
Yeah,
yeah,
I've,
of course.
yeah. Well,
Whoop, whoop. No, I was behind on Stranger Things. I was only on the first episode of season 4, and I literally just caught up. I'm on episode 3 of season 5, and I literally started 2 days ago.
wow.
So you
good.
don't know how it ends.
Catching back up. So
Yeah,
I'm still behind, but I will be caught back up very
Yeah.
soon.
I love
Anyways.
it. It's so good.
It is.
It dropped off there for like season 2-ish, 3-ish.
Yeah, that's why I think I
But-
stopped. Like it was like, yeah.
Yeah, but 4, oh my gosh, 4 came out swinging.
Yeah.
And now they're just in a flow, and it's so good.
All right. Favorite musical artist of all time.
Of all time. Oh my
All
gosh.
time.
I'm probably gonna go with Third Day. I just love Third Day. I'm old soul.
Mhm.
I could put them on anytime and just go.
Favorite song by them.
Ooh,
I am a thief.
come on, dude. No, that's great. I mean, God of Wonders. That feels like the basic
Yeah.
white girl answer. But if I had to go like the deep cut from Third Day, Thief is great. I'm gonna go with My Hope Is You.
It's a good one.
Show me your ways. And if you didn't get saved at least once to consuming fire,
Oh yeah.
you need to check your salvation. So good.
Do you have a dream collab?
Dream collab. Forrest Frank? No, kidding. Just kidding. Dream collab. Man, that's a great question. I would. So there's and no one's gonna know who this is, and it's probably my second favorite band. My tattoo is of this band. It's a band called the Rocket Summer, and the guy behind it's a guy named Bryce Avery, and he's just a musical, just genius. And man, I would love. Nobody would know who in our world would know who he is probably, so it wouldn't get many views. But yeah, but Bryce Avery, would be super incredible, meaningful. And then Justin Bieber. Let's go.
Let's go. All right. The most divisive one. Favorite ice cream flavor.
Okay, here we go.
Oh
Here
wait,
we go.
you hit the double 20s. You might not be able
Here
to
we
do
go.
ice cream anymore.
I actually do lactose free ice
Black
cream.
taste. He's right about that. The taste.
Lactose. No, actually, there's this brand called Halo Top. That's like a lower calorie,
Yep.
and it's not
Yeah.
bad. If I'm going like my favorite, like I guess, like cookies and cream isn't really a flavor. That's more of a mix. Cookies and
flavor.
cream. Okay, well, cookies and cream. But if we're just going basic flavor, man, I truly do love vanilla. It is. It's
Mhm.
hard to beat. It's hard to beat a classic.
Favorite podcast?
Christian music, guys.
Oh, sure. That's not in your contract. You don't have to say that.
Yeah.
No, you guys are cool, man. You guys are real cool.
Johnny, you have passed the favorite things, flying colors. So, Johnny, what is next for you, and how can our viewers and listeners keep up with you?
Yeah, well, we're dropping this song the top of the year. I Give You My Heart, and we've got some worship nights already set up. We'll be in Philadelphia. We'll be in Chicago. We're going to be in Charleston. We're going to be in Nashville. All over the place next year, doing these worship nights and kind of theming them around multiple generations and throwing in some 90s songs and some current songs. So we'll be on the road next year doing that, but the hope is to continue to write songs and release songs and um, give language to the church. And yeah, so that's what we'll be doing. You can find us or find me at the Johnny B. It's a lot of fun over there. You never know what you're going to get. You could get a mashup that will make you cry, or you could get a meme that will make you cringe, but both will bless your life. So yeah.
Well, quickly, let's wrap up. We'd like to see if you'd be willing to share something that God's been doing in your life recently that would help build our viewers and listeners' faith.
Yeah, that's a great question. Yeah, I think for me, especially in this season of my life, I'm just relearning faithfulness. There's the old quote of that faithfulness will always equal fruitfulness. And so I think in this season, I'm just relearning how to be faithful and how to be planted and how to cultivate where you are. And not always. I'm an Enneagram 7, if anybody knows what that is, and that means we've always got to have something new and the latest and the greatest and a shiny new toy. And those things are good. I think that's keeps you creative, looking for the new and writing the new song and all the things, creating the new content. There's a good side to that, but I think on the flip side of that, there's so much to be said about being faithful and content with where you are and what God's doing, and slowing down long enough to be still and know that He's God. And even in the simple stuff, putting your kids to bed or packing their lunch or whatever, all those things are just as meaningful, and learning to be faithful and present in those moments.
Well, Johnny, thank you so much for chatting with us, man. I Give You My Heart out January 2nd. Download it, stream it, buy the cassette tapes, go to MySpace.
Let's go. I'll be there.
All right, man.
They're the Christian music guys. Yeah, the Christian music guys.